You're listening to the Junior Birdman Podcast.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Junior Birdman Podcast, where we constantly bring you the experts you want to hear from and talk about the things you actually really care about. And we try to have some fun along the way. I'm your host, the Junior Birdman. And if you enjoy this show, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell to be alerted when new episodes come out. Boy, do we have a great show for you today. With the economy going a little crazy, food prices soaring, folks are trying to find all kinds of new ways to feed themselves and their family. A lot of folks are now getting into raising chickens themselves. And so today we have an expert chicken farmer with us who's going to give us some advice on raising chickens. Don, I want to thank you for joining us. Welcome to the Junior Birdman Podcast.
It's great to be here, Birdman, and believe me, there's no one who knows more about chicken farming than I do. I've been in the industry for decades. I've seen it all. Believe me.
Well, that's certainly something our audience is going to appreciate hearing. Tell us a little bit about how you got started in chicken farming.
Sure. Well, I got started in the chicken farming business a long time ago when I inherited my grandfather's farm.
Your grandpa?
Yes, he was a chicken farmer himself. He taught me everything I know about raising chickens. It's hard work, but I loved it. I loved it from the start. I love being outside. I love working with my hands. I love feeling like I'm making a difference in the world.
Well, that's really great, Don. That's really great. And it's clear you have a lot of passion for the work that you do. What do you think is the biggest challenge that chicken farmers face today?
Well, Birdman, let me tell you, there are a lot of challenges we face in our industry. One of the biggest challenges is making sure that our chickens are safe and healthy and well cared for. It's a big challenge for farmers. It means making sure they have the right food. It means making sure they have the right amount of water, that they're living in a clean, healthy place.
Very important.
Yeah, yes, and you have to protect them from predators and diseases. So it's a big responsibility, but I always loved it. I always took it very seriously.
I'm sure you do, and it sounds like you have a lot on your plate right now, Don. What advice would you want to give somebody who's just starting out in chicken farming right now?
Well, my advice to anyone who's just starting out in chicken farming is to be patient and be persistent. It's not an easy business. But if you're willing to put in the work, it can be very rewarding. You need to be prepared to wake up early in the morning.
Very early, I imagine.
Very early in the morning to start. You have to work long hours. You have to deal with all kinds of challenges. But if you're passionate about what you're doing, it can be a very fulfilling career for you.
It's good advice, and I don't think people often think of it as a career. What do you think is, for people who get started, probably the most common mistake that they're going to make when they start?
Well, one of the most common mistakes new chicken farmers make is not doing enough simple research before they get started. It's a very simple thing. Do your research. They come in, they think, this is easy raising chickens, but it's actually a very tough, very complex business. You need to pay attention to details. You need to know everything from the right kind of feed you're going to give your chickens to the best way to market your products. There's a lot to learn, a whole lot to learn in this business. Yes, and you need to have a good understanding of local regulations and zoning laws as well as they relate to your farm. So there's a lot of things to know. It's a lot of work. But it's very important to do your homework before you even think about getting started. Make sure you do your homework first.
That's great advice, Don. That's great advice. Thank you. And finally, What would you say has been the most rewarding part for you of being a chicken farmer?
Well, for me, it's simple. The most rewarding part of being a chicken farmer is knowing doing something good for the entire world. I mean, that's the best part of all, and providing people with happy, healthy, nutritious food they can feel good about eating.
Everyone likes eggs.
On top of that, I'm contributing to the local economy, supporting other farmers in the area. But most of all, I just love the feeling of being connected to the land and the animals that I care for. So it's not a lifestyle that everyone understands. Believe me, not everyone understands being a chicken farmer. But for those who do, it's a truly fulfilling way of life, believe me.
Don, I want to thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today. It's clear that you're a true master of your craft. We appreciate all the valuable insights you've shared with us today, and best of luck to you in your ventures.
Well, thank you, Birdman. It was a pleasure to be here today and share my expertise on chicken farming. Hope I was able to provide some useful insights for those trying to start out in chicken farming. Let me just tell you, it is a fascinating and rewarding field, believe me, and I encourage anyone interested at all to pursue this passion and keep on learning. Remember, it takes very hard work, and dedication and a love for the birds you care for in order to be successful. But just take your time, do your homework, get the right resources, get the right knowledge, and anyone can do this with a little hard work.
Well, that's once again great advice, and thanks again, Don. I want to thank you all for tuning in to the Junior Birdman podcast, and if you've enjoyed this podcast, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video, and make sure you hit the notification bell to be updated when we release new videos. Thanks again for tuning in to the Junior Birdman podcast, and up, up, and away.
Thank you for listening to the Junior Birdman podcast. Be sure to like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notifications bell to be alerted when new videos are posted.